Okay, same thing here. One significant figure. Look at the one to the right. Less than 5, we drop it. Anything after the decimal point, we don't want. So the moment I see that you change to 80 times 3, you get method first. Then the answer is 240. Okay, so they ask you without any calculation. Yes, Shiyang. Oh, you got no paper, right? Sorry. Oh, stinky. Okay. So, without any calculation, they ask you to explain why actual. Actual is this. And then the estimated one is this. Okay, can you see that upon rounding off? Okay, both the speed and time is smaller than their actual value. Hence, their product will be smaller. So as long as you mention anything along this line, then you would have gotten this 1 mark. So the idea is both the speed and the time, they are smaller than the actual after you round off. So some of you wrote that you round down for both values. That's why your answer is smaller, which is also correct. Okay, next one, expansion, 3a minus 2b. 5 you multiply in to both the numbers, you get 10a minus 5b. So some of you were being careless, you forgot to multiply the 5 to the b as well. So you lost the mark there. So the moment I see this part, you expand correctly, I give 1 method mark here. Okay, the next mark is to simplify correctly. So 10 plus 3 is 13a. Minus 2 minus 5 is minus 7b. So this is the answer mark. This is the method mark. Okay, so if you do it carefully, you would have gotten these 2 marks. Okay, single fraction. The moment I see that you multiply by LCM. Okay, to get this, 9x over 12, 8x minus 1, you get your first method mark. Okay, the moment I see this step, you get your first method mark. Okay, the next mark is where you combine them together. So out of 12, I have 9x, 8x, minus 8. So if you simplify, you should get 17x minus 8 over 12. So this is the answer that should go on to the answer blank. Okay, so quite clear cut. First mark is where you make both out of 12. Second mark is to get this answer. Okay, do corrections also. Can any issue with the marking so far?
No turn.
Oh, okay,
Yes, turn.
Okay, next one. This one. They say the boiling point is 180 degrees Celsius. So they are telling you S is 180. Okay, find what is H. So what you need to do is to sub in. So if you press calculator, what do you get as the answer? What do you get as the answer? I forgot to bring my marking scheme.
56.
Okay, 356. Okay. Next one is they tell me that H is 74 and they say can you find S? So we just plug in. It's an evaluate question. So 74. So it's like a normal equation. You subtract 32 on both sides. So you get 42. So the moment we see this, we give 1 mark. Okay, that means you know that this is the first step to simplify. The second mark is when you divide 42 by 9/5. So what do you get? It's not a nice answer, right? 23.3 with a dot. So some of you gave me 23rd and 1/3. Some of you just round off to 3SF. I accepted all. Okay, but by right, these two are the most accurate answer. Okay, either or. Okay, this is we decided to allow this. Okay, but these two are the best because they are exact. Okay, factorize means you don't go and expand out. I told you all before, right? Factorize means you go and take out what is common. So this is like the apple question. Take out the apple. So if I take out the apple, okay, you are left with 7 minus 5y. If you omit the bracket here, then I can't give you the mark. It's a different meaning already. So must have 2 brackets. Some of you copy and then miss out a y here, miss out a x here, then you lose the 1 mark. So must be very careful. Okay, this one is the only slightly tougher question in the paper because some of you may not know that y is y square. A y square is y times y. Okay, as long as you know this, then you can take out the y as a common factor. Every term, take out the y. So if you take out y, left 1y here. Take out the y, left x. Then another trick is this one. You take out the y, it doesn't become 0. It becomes minus 1. So some of you either miss out on the y or miss out on the minus 1. So this is the slightly trickier problem. So hence, you need to use the answer that you have found here. To help you get the answer. So if you look carefully, 400 is 20 times 20. Okay, if you can see this. Okay, maybe I rewrite this 400 plus 81 times 20 minus 20. This is 20 times 20. Okay, so actually if you observe carefully, this is your y that you have taken out. So the 20 is what you have taken out. So you are left with 20 plus 81 minus 1. So why no need calculator is because if you check this, inside is a 100. So you only get 2000. So actually without calculator, you can get the answer easily. But if you go and calculate separately, like you go and multiply this one, then you say this is 1620, then minus 20, then plus 400. That one I can't give you the marks because this is by calculation. Okay, which you are not supposed to do. Okay, so if you ask me this paper, only this one a bit more tricky. The rest, all you should be able to do easily. Okay, next question is also quite easy. I have half of you who can do, half of you don't understand what the question wants. Okay, so for example, are we still copying? Let's wait a bit. Can this one? Okay, this one. They say show that the reflex angle. So this is the reflex angle that I'm interested to find. So if you observe carefully, you should be able to see that in a clock, there's a total of how many sections? How many sections? In total in a clock? 6. You look at the yellow and the white one. Total how many? 12. So actually 12 units. All these 12 angles that you see here, all the 12 angles that you see here, they represent 360 degree. So 1 unit is 30 degree. So just one block of these that you see here represents 30 degree. So the moment I see in your working that you know that 1 unit is 30 degree, you get 1 mark first. The next part is to show me that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The reflex angle is 7 units. So you just find 7 units. Then you get 210. So this is what they want you to show. So you write shown. Okay, so some of you went to find a smaller one. You go and find 5 units is 150. You use 360 minus 150. That's fine. Okay, so as long as you never start from here. Okay, you have to show me that you got 210, but rather than using the 210 to show me that it's true. Okay, this one. Most of you can find the angle easily, but the reason wrong. So I can't give you the mark. Yeah, must match with the correct reason. So R, Y, X is this angle. Okay, this angle here. So many of you could see that it is an alternate angle. So you write 55 degree and then it's alternate angles, RS parallel to PQ. So you cannot just write alternate angle, you must also tell me there is a parallel line. Okay, next one is this angle here, XYZ. This one. So some of you could see that this angle is just adjacent angle on a straight line. So you use 180 minus 55 minus 65. So it's 60 degree. 110, 120, yeah. So 60 degrees, so you write adjacent angles on a straight line. Okay, but I also have a group of you who saw that actually this is a C. It is corresponding angle. So you use 180 minus 55 minus 65. Same steps. Okay, but you give me corresponding angles are YS parallel to Z XQ. Okay, so you give me this is also perfectly fine. Okay, so as long as the reason you give me makes sense in the diagram, I will give you the full credit. Okay, last one. Some of you, I don't know why you identify the wrong angle. WZQ is this one. Is this one, not the other one above. It's WZQ. So this is the green angle that I want to find. Then if you observe carefully, you see the letter F. So when it's the letter F, you can get 65 due to corresponding. This one I do, sorry, this one I do wrongly. It's interior, right? This one is corresponding angles. RS parallel to PQ. Okay, so I repeat one more time. This is alternate angles, parallel lines. This is corresponding angles, parallel lines. Okay, and then the last one is the letter C, is interior angles, parallel lines. So it's only these three, But of course, I also have some of you who did this. You go and use sum of angles in a triangle to find this. Right? So after you find this, then you tell me it's vertically opposite angle. I also accept. So as long as your answer and reasoning is okay, I will give the mark. Okay, Next one. This one. This one, some of you lost a lot of marks here, which we did so many times. Okay, so plus 9 on both sides. The moment I see 5x equals to 25, you get method mark already. So I need to see this. Oh, no. This one is a 1 mark question. Cannot give method mark. Okay, so to find 1x, just divide by 5. So answer is just 5. Okay, next one, I need to multiply by LCM. So the LCM is 24. So everything multiply by 24.
Really?
So 24, you cancel this out, left 3. Okay, then the other one, you left 4. And then equals to 24. So the moment you multiply by LCM, I give 1 method mark. Multiply by LCM, 24. Some of you multiply by 48, I also give. It just means that you are handling bigger number. So it's okay. Okay, next one is the expansion. 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times 2 is plus 6. Remember, this is together. So when you multiply both of them. So minus 4x plus 12. This is the one that I've said so many times. So if you expand everything correctly, you get your second mark. Expand all correctly. TJ, why? TJ, find your focus. Okay, then lastly, let's try to simplify this. 5x, 18. So we subtract 18 on both sides. So 5x is 6. So x is divided by 5 on both sides. So you get 1.2. Or 1 and 1/5. Okay, be careful. So a lot of you lost marks here. You forgot that minus 4 times minus 3 is positive 12. I think I at least repeated 20 times of this in class. Easily 20 times. Okay, last question is the Wakanda Forever question. Remember the whole bracket, bring up and multiply. So this whole bracket cross multiply up. Okay, the rest is just expand. Okay, the rest is just expand. And then you can now solve them easily. So plus 6 on both sides. Okay, and then you subtract 6 on both sides. Okay, finally divide by 12. You get minus 1/3. Some of you did not simplify. So we look at the whole paper. If let's say that is the only mistake you make, we never minus off the mark. But if there are more than one answer that you never simplify, we will minus 1 throughout the paper. So this is minus 1/3. Okay, but some of you left it as minus 4/12. If it's your only mistake, I did not penalize. Okay, I will ask you to simplify. Okay, but of course, if you have many mistakes like that, then we will minus 1 overall. Okay, last example. Okay, so if you ask me, if you compare the paper with past year paper, I don't think it's very different. It's just change of numbers only. Okay, we move on. Okay, this one. They say I have a wire that I bend it to form a trapezium. Write an expression for the perimeter. So add these 4 up. So if you never simplify and you add these 4 up, you wrote it on the answer blank, I gave credit also, because we never say must simplify. But if you simplify, you must make sure it's correct. So this one, don't copy wrongly. So 2x, 4x, 9x, you end off as 11x. Okay, 38 minus 2 plus 4, 52. So you should get this. Some of you got a minus 11x. Okay, so I mark wrong here. Okay, if you copy this whole thing on the line, I will mark correct also, because question never say you must simplify. Okay, although you need the simplified one in the later part. Okay, they say this same wire can be bent into 2 identical squares of an area of 144. So 2 squares, area of 144. So if you know that square root 144 is 12, this is your first method mark. Meaning each of the part here is 12. Okay, but take note. Okay, I have some of you who had a different version. I will explain that in a bit. So if you calculate the total perimeter, each of a square has 6 sides. No, each of the square has 4 sides. What am I talking about? So 4 sides. So total will be 8. So 8 times 12 is 96. So if I see that you know the total is 96, you get 1 method mark. So finally, since it's the same wire, if you equate these 2 together, you get your 3rd mark. Because it's the same wire, the length must be the same. So the moment you equate them together, it shows that you understand the question. You get your 3rd mark. The last one is solving. So X is just 4 cm. Answer mark. Okay, there is, however, a group of you who think that the wire cannot break into 2, right? So you say, oh, if I fold it up, then it's 2 connected squares. If I were to bend it up, so you think that there is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is not counted because perimeter only talks about the external part. The internal one you don't add as perimeter, right? So if you have done this, you get 1 mark. The second mark is where you show me that 6 times 12 is 72. This is the second mark. So we accepted this understanding as the correct answer also. So first mark is the 12. Second mark is this. Third mark is equating this to 72. And then the last mark is getting the same answer. A different answer, sorry. So you would have gotten this as the final answer. Okay? So this is an alternative answer that we, because there's a few of you writing this, we accepted it. Okay, if you have seen this, error carry forward, it means if let's say this expression you got it wrong, but all the rest of the steps in the next question is the correct one. But because of the error on top, your answer is different. That one we will mark all correct. Because you know the method, you got the wrong answer because the answer on top is wrong. So that's called error carry forward marks. Okay? So any issue with the marking? If not, this is your final grade. You can bring it back home for your parents to have a look at it.